Paulding.com prevailed upon the folks putting on the play, Mount Pleasant Homecoming, which is running through July 22nd at the Dallas Theater. I interviewed the lead preacher, Mervyn Oglethorpe, played by Alan Kilpatrick, for an interview. Here's my interview with Alan about the play.
Just tell folks a little bit about the show.
Sure. Well, it's the third in a sequel, in a series of sequels. The first was called Smoke on the Mountain, second called Sanders Family Christmas, and this one is Mount Pleasant Homecoming. The great thing about them is you don't need to have seen either of the other two to enjoy Mount Pleasant Homecoming. A lot of people have seen all three. We have fans that come to see them over and over and over again, and we call them smokeheads, just because they come to see us in one of the shows every time we produce one of them. And they're great. They feel like they know us. They feel like they're a part of the family. We feel like they're a part of the family. But they were all three plays were written by a writing team. Alan Bailey, who's actually from Georgia. He grew up in Macon, went to the University of Georgia, and after he graduated from Georgia, he sort of moved on and I think now lives in Los Angeles. And his writing partner is an actress named Connie Ray, and she's most people who go to film very often would probably recognize her. She does a lot of supporting sort of quirky Southern women characters, so she's fairly recognizable name in the acting community. But the two of them got together to write. Alan actually has a twin sister. There are twins in our play. Now there are two sets of twins in our play, but Alan has a twin sister. She and Alan were sent to their grandmother's house in North Carolina as children, and they went to church with their grandparents in a small church like Mount Pleasant Baptist Church. So he got the idea to write Smoke on the Mountain, Sanders Family Christmas, and Mount Pleasant Homecoming as a result of having spent so much time with his grandparents in this small Baptist church in North Carolina. He did the show, wrote the show. Smoke on the Mountain premiered at the Lambs Theater in New York like 1991, maybe 1990. And a friend of mine who went to University of Georgia with Alan said, a friend of mine has written this play. Do you think it would be good for Theater in the Square? I read it. I said, yes, it'd be great for Theater in the Square because it's intimate. It's an intimate theater. It's a great place to do this kind of play. And then Karen Howell, who plays Mother Sanders in our production, was going to New York. She just happened to be going to New York. And so the producers at Theater in the Square said, Karen, why don't you drop by the Lambs Theater and see Smoke on the Mountain, see if you think it would be good for us to do. She went to see it. She flew back to Marietta. She walked into their office and said, yes, you need to do Smoke on the Mountain. So that's pretty much history, the way history was written. We've done Smoke on the Mountain now, I want to say 12 or 14 times, usually in the summertime. Then in 1999, Alan Bailey contacted the theater and said, I've written the sequel, Sanders Family Christmas. Would you like to do it? Yes. So we've now done Sanders Family Christmas 8 years, I think, in a row. We premiered it in 99 and have done it every Christmas. And then, of course, last year, at some point in the year last year, he contacted us and said, I've done the third one, are you interested? And of course the answer was yes. So we premiered Mount Pleasant Homecoming. Come here, Travis. We premiered Mount Pleasant Homecoming, and of course you played to great audiences. This is Travis Smith. Wave to the folks, Travis. Travis is one of, I was just speaking of twins. Travis plays the twin son, Dennis. In this production, he has just come back from World War II, and the structure of the play is that each of the characters will get up and testify or witness to the congregation, and then in between testimonials we'll all, sing gospel tunes. Travis's character has just returned from World War II, and he shares some very heart-rending moments about his experience as a soldier, as a Marine in World War II. The monologues or the testimonials, the witness that each character does, ranges from outrageously funny to heartbreaking and tender. It's a great show for the whole family. We have children, and we have people, grandparents and great-grandparents, and people in walkers and wheelchairs. All ages come to see the show. there's a lot of music, probably 25 songs all told. It's extremely difficult to rehearse because as actors, we not only have to learn our lines, but we also have to learn the lyrics. And because we all play our own musical instruments, we also have to learn the instrumentation. I'm guessing between the 7 of us, how many instruments would you say, Travis? A dozen? Probably 2 guitars, a banjo, a fiddle, a mandolin, a bass, a piano, a ukulele, an accordion, an auto harp, harmonica, concertina, at least a dozen instruments that the 7 of us play. The characters in the play are Mama and Daddy Sanders. Their children, the eldest June, who is the only member of the family that doesn't sing, but she signs. And one of the funniest characters in the play, a really very funny character. And then their 2 twins, Dennis and Denise. And then their Uncle Stanley, who's kind of the black sheep of the family, and also has probably the most heart-touching monologue or testimonial in the whole play. So there's, and then the preacher of the Baptist Church, Reverend Mervyn Oglethorpe. So that's the 7 of us.
Yeah. A couple of things. Obviously, the music is a very big part of the show. I saw it. Great. Do y'all have a CD, or is that a?
I wish we did. We do not have a CD, and people have asked us that several times. Alan Bailey, the author, the playwright, has produced CDs of Smoke on the Mountain and Sanders Family Christmas. I'm not sure if he produced both of them, but I think he produced one of them. And they were recorded by professional gospel musicians and bluegrass musicians. And they can be found. I don't know how easy they are to find.
Are you telling me that y'all aren't professional musicians as well?
I am telling you we are professional actors who happen to play musical instruments, but we don't have our own CD, and I wish we did, because we probably could have made a fortune by now.
Well, I mean, yeah.
People are always asking, can we buy your CD? And we don't have one. You know?
I understand, but y'all fool me as far as being professional musicians.
Well, thank you. Travis and Uncle Stanley, the guy who plays Uncle Stanley, his name is Scott DePoy, are probably the 2 most accomplished musicians that we have. I took piano for 10 years. Karen, who plays Mother Sanders, took piano for a number of years. John, who plays Daddy Sanders, was in a rock and roll band and knows how to play bass. We all have musical skill, but some of us are more accomplished than others, and it's work. I mean, really, when we get the score for the first time, when we go into rehearsal for one of these shows, we spend a lot of time with music just because I'm not as accomplished a musician as Travis is or as Scott is. So I have to work really hard to keep up with them.
That was Alan Kilpatrick, who plays preacher Mervyn Oglethorpe in the Theater on the Square production of A Mount Pleasant Homecoming. It's playing in the Dallas Theater until July 22nd. For Paulding.com, G. Patton Hughes reporting.